If there's one thing everybody seems to love, it's animal facts. Unfortunately, not all these facts are actually facts, and a lot of the time they're just myths. So today we're going to set the record straight and give you guys the top 13 animal myths. Why 13? It's May 13th. We'll go with that. Myth number 1. According to physics, bees can't fly. Clearly this is a bit of an obvious one. We've seen bees fly, so clearly they're not breaking any laws of physics, but still this always gets passed around as if it's something true. The fact of the matter is, bees aren't breaking any sort of laws of physics when they fly. They're not using magic, they're not using jetpacks, and they're not using magnets, although magnets would be cool. They're just flying in a way we didn't think they would, and that's not breaking any laws of physics, that's just human stupidity. To counteract this stupidity though, we've decided to build bee robots that fly like bees. Who's the bigger animal now? Myth number 2. A goldfish's memory lasts only 3 seconds. This one's actually a bit of a ridiculous one as well, because a goldfish's actual memory lasts about 5 months. Scientists have done everything from teaching a goldfish how to move a lever, to teaching a whole group of fish that when a bell goes off it's time to eat. Now these might seem like pretty ridiculous tests, and frankly they are pretty ridiculous tests. But what else are you going to do when you have people thinking that goldfish can only remember for 3 seconds? Myth number 3. A camel's hump stores water. This one's completely false. First off, a camel's hump looks nothing like a waterbed, and secondly, we're able to ride on them. I mean, unless they're freezing the water in their hump, it just doesn't make any sense. Instead of storing water, a camel's hump actually stores fat. But like the myth about the water, the fat is used to survive in the desert. You see, within the hump there's about 80 pounds of fat, and, when needed, a camel will break down those 80 pounds for about 3 weeks of energy. Myth number 4. Lemmings commit mass suicide. This one's a pretty classic myth, and it's been debunked a whole bunch of times, but just because it's so popular, we thought we'd put it on this list. You see, this myth started way back in 1958 when Walt Disney Pictures released a movie called White Wilderness. This movie was supposed to be a documentary about the animals of the Arctic, but it actually held more fiction than fact. The worst being this whole mass suicide thing. Lemmings don't commit mass suicide, and to get the shots for the movies, the filmmakers just tossed lemmings over a cliff. Guess that's the magic of Disney for you. Myth number 5. Houseflies only live 24 hours. Studies have actually shown that houseflies live long, fulfilling lives of 13 to 30 days. And that's not including when it's a pupa. If we were to then toss that into the mix, we're talking about 35 to 50 days. How this 24-hour thing started, I have no idea, but clearly we were very wrong. Myth number 6. Ostriches hide their head in the sand. This one's just wrong. Myth number 7. Bats are blind. If you're already a fan of the Daredevil TV show, you probably know that this is false. But if you're not, let me let you in on a little secret. Bats can see. This whole myth started around the fact that bats use echolocation to catch their prey. And while they do need echolocation to catch their prey, this is only because compared to other nocturnal species, at night, they can't see for shit. Myth number 8. Bears hibernate. I'm kind of cheating with this one a little bit, because while bears do sleep through most of the winter, it's not actually called hibernating. Scientists call what they do winter sleep. Winter sleep isn't real hibernating because, unlike true hibernators, bears don't drop their temperature as low, don't drop their metabolic rate as low, and don't sleep as deeply. Otherwise, they're about the same thing. Myth number 9. If you chop a worm in half, you get 2 worms. You see, when a worm gets cut in 2, only the side with the head regenerates while the tail withers and dies. And while this is pretty cool, it's definitely not as cool as being able to play God, doubling the worms in your backyard. Sorry, younger me. Myth number 10. You can get warts from touching frogs and toads. I've heard this one for a few years, and it almost sounds real. I mean, they have warts, so if you touch them, shouldn't you get warts? Like when you touch a cheetah, and then you get really fast. Warts are actually caused by different types of the HPV virus, so unless you're touching an HPV toad, I think you're safe. Myth number 11. Koala bears are bears. Fact 1. Bear is in their name. Fact 2. That's the only part that's a bear. Koalas, along with kangaroos and Tasmanian devils, are actually part of the marsupial family, which means they have a pouch. And I don't know about you, but I never saw Baloo putting Mowgli in his pouch, so 2 different things. Fact number 12. Wolves howl at the moon. This one has been around for a long time. The first stories about wolves howling at the moon probably come from Native Americans, and since then they've really stuck around. Since then though, we've actually learned that wolves howl to communicate, and it has nothing to do with the moon at all. And don't go saying there's wolves on the moon, because the classic late 90s TV show, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, debunked that one in episode 3. Myth number 13. Earwigs lay eggs in your ears. Not only is this one incredibly gross, but it's also incredibly false. Earwigs actually lay eggs in moist, dark places, and your ears don't qualify as those. Instead, earwigs lay eggs like normal insects, in the soil. Now yerks, those will crawl in your ears. But there you have it, 13 of the most popular animal myths debunked. Did we miss any? Comment below if we left out your favorite myth. And as always guys, don't forget to read the full article at earthunfiltered.com, link below, and please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks. What do you mean they won't know what yerks are? The villains from Animorphs? I mean, come on.